Welcome, welcome. What's up? It's Coach Steph. I am going to be doing a very short training on motivation. So if you are watching this replay right now, hashtag replay, let me know that you are watching. I am excited about this topic. This is always a hot topic because a lot of people feel like they have to be motivated, they need to feel a certain way to take action. And we're going to talk about that because I truly believe that it is our responsibility. It is your responsibility to create the feelings that you want to create. And this is something that I talk about in my Fit Figure Formula, which is my 16-week program where I help my clients to get fit, mind, and body. And we really talk about, creating powerful thoughts and embodying the woman that you need to be. So I'm going to share a few concepts. This week, my kids are on spring break. I don't know about y'all's. So my kids have been home all week. So they are here today, which normally they still would have been here if I'm going live this late. But I won't be on live long. So if you hop on, let me know that you're here. Let me see if I can see comments because sometimes I cannot. If you're on, say hello. Let me see. I thought I could see comments earlier. Sometimes this thing is so weird. It's just like really annoying. Okay. If you're on, say hello. I want to invite you before I get started. If you have been on the fence about working with me in the Fit Figure Formula, I want to invite you either to ask me questions. What are the things that is holding you back? Are you watching for me to say a certain thing? Are you worried about whether or not you will finish? So that is a huge barrier. A lot of times when I'm on calls with people, they're like, well, I really want to do it. And I'm like, well, do you think this can help you? And they're like, yes, but I don't know if I'm going to commit to it. So if you want to talk about, if you know that you want to do the program, but then you're not sure if you can commit, let's talk. So you can either message me, just DM me and say, hey, I really like to join the program, but I'm just not sure if I can trust myself to commit to doing 16 weeks. Or you can just book a call with the link it should be in the comments in the breakthrough session. And in that call too, we'll talk one-on-one and talk about your journey, what's holding you back, and then what's the dream and what you actually want for your life. Because I talk a lot about the fact that this life is not forever. And if you're not living it the way that you want to right now, you're missing it. Later is not promised, right? So we want to make sure that we are really capitalizing on every day, every decision. Every decision is either pulling you closer to your goals or farther away from your goals. And so what we're going to be talking about today is motivation. And this is just my personal opinion, okay? Motivation gets a little bit of a bad rap because when we're talking about motivation, it does not mean that you're rah, super excited. It doesn't mean that. It just means, can I get over the resistance of getting started, right? The alarm is going off. It's time for me to get my workout in. And I'm feeling like, ugh. What's the thing? What's the thought that's going to help me to pull off the covers and just get started, right? Because once you do that, something in motion, once you get in motion, once you start it, it's easier to keep starting. But the longer you lay in bed, the easier it is just to lay there and not get up. So how do you get yourself to make that powerful decision to just go ahead and get up, right? So it says I have one comment, but I actually cannot see the comment. So, oh, yes I can. Hi, Kathy. I was just thinking about you. I was like, oh, I wonder if Kathy's watching. Thanks for coming to the call, or to the live. So we're going to talk about motivation. So I want to know, I asked this question to a client today. She's injured, right? She recently injured herself. And she was like, she was basically questioning whether or not she could stay motivated enough through this period where she can't exercise, she can't really move that much, in order to get to her goals and see the results that she wants. And I asked her a question of this. Number one, why would you need to feel motivated? And when I'm saying this time I mean like the butterflies, the rah rah. Why do you need to feel that level of excitement to take care of the very body you live in? I want you to think about that. Right? Like, this is the body that God gave us. Why would we need to feel motivated to take care of it? Like, excited adrenaline. Why? Don't we want to just take care of ourselves because that is what we do? Right? I'm going to take care of myself. I'm going to eat well. And just be really intentional about what I do with this body, because this body doesn't last forever, right? So I want you to think about that and start to shift your mindset. What if you don't have to feel rah-rah, super motivated to eat well? What if you don't have to feel butterflies in your stomach to take a walk? What if you don't have to feel this adrenaline rush, or have a wedding to go to, or, you know, what if you don't have to feel all of these like heightened feelings in order to put your shoes on, get in your car, go to the gym? Like, what if it doesn't even require that? So a lot of us sometimes are waiting to feel this feeling before we take the action. And what if it's the exact opposite? What if, and I'm going to give you a couple of ways to think about this. So neither way is exactly right. Whatever suits you best, to where you can understand it and you can get your energy behind it, the methods and theologies that I'm going to talk about, that's kind of what you can adopt. Okay, so there's no right or wrong way to think about this, but this is just one perspective. Okay, why would you have to feel super motivated to take care of this body because this body is all we got, right? So when you're thinking about how do I need to feel to put my shoes on and then go to the gym, because I guarantee you that once you get to the gym, you will feel like it later, right? So there's a concept called acting as if, right? So what if we just decided, I'm just going to act as if I did feel motivated, or act as if I was already my CEO, my 2.0 self. I'm going to just act like I'm her. I'm just going to act as if. The feelings will come later. The feelings will come when you start to take the action. Think about it. When you do a workout, or you're getting ready to do a workout and you feel the resistance, but you do it anyway, you feel great afterwards. I've never regretted a workout. I've never been like, oh, I shouldn't have did that. Never. The feelings come after your action. So what if you just decided, okay, let me hurry up and start taking action so that I can feel like it? Because what if the motivation is behind the action? Right? Let me know if this is making sense. Right? So that's one way that you can think about it, that I can act as if. And I always really like this concept because in the Fit Figure formula, we talk about, we create an identity statement and we talk about what would your highest and best self do? What would your 2.0 self do? And your job is to wake up and figure out what that looks like in each decision, right? And try to embody that every time. And so we're acting as if. So when we start acting as if, right, we're putting our desires and our actions in alignment, the feelings are going to come too, right? So that's just one way to think about it. Think about when you listen to music, okay? I could put on some Adele, okay? Adele music makes me want to crawl in a ditch and die, okay? With a mud blanket, right? So whenever you hear Adele, or like, I'm trying to think of another person who, like Jasmine Sullivan, you know, their music is like heartbreak, and those are like the songs that you go to when you just like, even if you're not even going through anything, you listen to that, it's just like, oh, you start reminiscing on the sad heartbreak that you had, and it like changes your whole mood, right? Then think back to maybe Beyonce. Beyonce does this for me. Beyonce or Bruno Mars, right? Upbeat, their upbeat music. It gets you in a different mood. Why is that? Why is that? Right? Is it the melody? It has a lot to do with the words, right? Words are powerful. Think about the music that you listen to. It can put you in a whole mood. Okay? And so this comes to my second point of how you want to feel. If you feel like you need to feel motivated, or you need to feel those butterflies, guess who gets to create that? It's you. So you have to think in such a way that you know you, and you can motivate yourself. So, because nobody can really motivate you, honestly, unless you're allowing that, right? And you're believing that, and your consciousness is not like blocking it out. So if you need to feel motivated, or want to feel motivated, and you're like, okay, I'm waiting on this feeling, right? You could act as if, or you could learn yourself and learn, okay, what are the thoughts I need to be thinking that's going to help me to get over the resistance? Is it music? Is it a powerful thought? Is it a powerful mantra? Is it thinking about my painful why? Is it thinking about my pleasure why? For me, it is my highest and best self, the way I want to look. You know, just in case I like run into like someone that I used to talk to in the past, I want them to be like, ooh, man, you know? That's just, I'll be thinking about that, you know? I don't know if I'm the only one, but I just want to always be prepared just in case, you know, I might need to show somebody what they missed out. But my highest and best self motivates me. So my future self is counting on me to get the job done, right? And because I trust myself, right? I trust myself now. I trust my future self, and my desires and my actions are in alignment, right? And I know what motivates me. I know the thoughts that I need to create in my mind in order for me to start feeling inspired. I do that when I'm not feeling great. One of the thoughts that helps me so much is, how could I make progress anyway? Right? I feel like crap. My dog died. My, kids are getting on my nerves. How could I make progress anyway? And when you start to think like that, you start to be the master over your emotions. Your brain starts to figure out the how and like how to actually get that done. So you can act as if, and then the feelings will come, right? Or you can know thyself and know how to motivate yourself. Another thing that works for me is going on Instagram and looking at Jenna DeLeon. Jenna DeLeon, I don't know why, she just does it for me. Her body is amazing. And I'm like, okay, Steph. And I literally said this to myself. I'm like, okay, Steph, we gotta go to the gym. Because her body is like gorgeous. And I'm like, okay. And I'm not necessarily trying to be like her, but I'm inspired and I'm ready to go. And I just go. And you literally, there's a Mel Robbins little clip that I show my clients sometimes is, you count backwards, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And on 1, you literally just move your body and you start in the direction of the task. once you get started, it's harder to stop. So just keep going, right? So those are two ways that you can think about motivation. You can think about it on the front end of, or I guess on the back end of, how can I act as if, and then thinking about it as, how can I create this? Because the only reason you ever feel motivated is because of thoughts that you have, that you're thinking, right? That wedding that you want to fit into a dress, or your summertime bikini, and all of that. It's just thoughts that create an emotion. So there's a concept, a self-coaching concept I teach my clients from the Life Coaching School, and we talk about your circumstance. You have thoughts about your circumstance, and the only reason why you have feelings about the circumstance is because of your thoughts. And those thoughts, depending on which way you're going, positive or negative, determine what you feel. And then out of those feelings, you act, and then that creates your result. So ultimately, you get to decide if you're motivated or not. Because people will tell me, oh, I'm not motivated. And I'm like, okay, well, what does motivate you? And then they have no idea. And I'm like, that's the work. You've got to know what motivates you. Why do you want this? Why is that important? And is it a deep enough reason to sacrifice your 1.0 self for? Do you care about it enough to do the work to get to your 2.0 self? Because if it doesn't compel you, if it's not that compelling, maybe you need to keep digging for a deeper reason. Maybe we need to change what the goal is. So you want to make sure that you know you. Because at the end of the day, no one really can motivate you but you. Okay, because you know what matters to you most. I hope this is making sense, y'all. Y'all, let me know if this is making sense. I'm going to check some notes. I went off. I did have notes for this, but I just start talking and I can keep talking. So, in the past, when I've asked you guys, like, what motivates you, most of the responses will be progress, right? Progress, when I see progress, I get motivated. But progress is really a byproduct of you doing the work. And if you feel like to do the work, I need to get motivated, then we got to rearrange some things. Because you can't see the progress if you don't do the work. And if you feel like you can't do the work without being motivated, then we gotta fix that, right? We gotta know how to motivate ourselves, or we gotta act as if, so that we can feel motivated, and then we can see the progress, and then that'll motivate you some more, right? But how will you ever see progress if you feel like you have to be motivated to do the things and to really engage in the process? And for some of you, I think that the amount of consistency that it takes for you to actually see progress and get all the way to your goals, you don't even know how much consistency it takes. Like, you think, okay, well, since I'm doing better, I should be seeing results. And sometimes that works in the beginning. But the closer and closer you get closer to your goal, or, especially after the first 4 or 5 weeks, like, you can lose weight pretty quickly if you hadn't been doing anything and you start doing stuff and changing your eating habits. You can see progress pretty quickly. But the real work starts when it ain't easy, right? When, okay, your body kind of got used to that and now you have to keep pushing. So the level of consistency with which you have to, walk and work out and hit your macros and get your protein and get your water and sleep well. Not just one time, but week, another week, and a week, and a week. And not that you won't have off weeks or off days, but you really have to, motivation is not even enough to keep you consistent. And in this terms, I'm talking about the butterflies motivated. Like, it's really not even enough. So don't be waiting for that feeling, because you can just act as if and the feeling will come, right? If you guys have any questions, let me know. I told you this is going to be a little short because my kids are out of school and I am about to go and make sure my son is eating his snack and not getting it all over the living room. But I wanted to come in. Does anybody have any questions about motivation? Or have any struggles around motivation? So I'll take questions. If you are watching the replay, you can actually also comment if you have questions, and I will answer them even after I get off because I'm going to hop off. But at the end of the day, you are responsible for how you feel. So take inventory right now. How do I feel about my weight journey, my health journey? How do I feel? How confident on a scale from 1 to 10 are you in the fact that you can reach your goals and keep them and maintain that? Right? If you feel like, oh, I have so far to go and this is hard, I don't even know if it's worth it, I've been trying and it's not working, I feel stuck, right? Those thoughts, although you may think that you're just watching and just telling the news, meaning like you think it's absolute truth, right? All of those thoughts are still really optional, and you get to pick which thoughts that you let linger. Sometimes in life, in your health journey, in my business, in different parts of your life, you may find that things are really hard, but have you ever believed anyway? Have you ever just like stuck to it anyway? Even if there's no evidence that like you can do it, I'm just going to believe anyway. And that's kind of what you have to do with yourself of, I'm just going to believe anyway. I'm going to do this process anyway. And the process, like really falling in love with the process is really important. Really falling in love with being that person that has the consistent habits and the like falls in love with the journey, because guess what? When you get to your goal, if you've done it in a sustainable way, you just keep on doing what you've been doing. Makes it a lot easier. Okay? So I don't want you to think that you have to feel motivated to take care of your body. I don't want you to feel like I can't start something unless I feel motivated or, these butterflies in your stomach. I want you to know that you have control. And when you start taking back that ownership of, oh, I'm feeling unmotivated, I'm procrastinating, I am not setting boundaries. Are you working on your mindset? You have got to work on your mindset. And if you know that you're stopping and starting and you don't have confidence in your future self, that your future self is going to continue, right? You got to work on your mindset. Some of y'all have tried everything else, right? You've tried everything else. You've tried keto, you've tried Weight Watchers, you've tried Optiva or whatever that company's name is. Like you've tried all of these things, but you haven't dug deep enough into your own mindset, into your own emotions, and figuring out, why do I keep repeating this lesson in life? Why do I keep doing that? Right? Do I have a good enough relationship with myself? Because everything in your life is just a mirror for how you're dealing with you. Right? And so that is the part that might be keeping you stuck. Right? And so if you want help with that, you can check out the pinned comment and apply to work with me inside the Fit Figure Formula. You can book that call and we can talk one-on-one about how I can help you. So if you don't know, I've had a lot of new people to come into the group. I am a registered dietitian. I don't think I say that enough. I think I used to put it in the description, but I'm a registered dietitian. I worked clinical practice for years in acute care hospitals. I did home health. I've done intermediate care. I did long-term care. I grew into my mindset coaching, the mindset coaching part, because through coaching hundreds of ladies at this point, I recognize that that's the main thing that's holding me back. The nutrition stuff, we can get that down. The working out, lifting weights, the being active, we can get that down. If you're not actively and on purpose working on your mindset, that's your pitfall. I can already tell you. And nobody escapes that, right? Like Oprah Winfrey still is practicing gratitude, right? I still have every day my vision board is right there by my bed, and I practice myself intentional thought creation where I am literally I'm speaking over my life. I'm getting out all of like the self-sabotaging thoughts that are lingering in my energy. I don't want that. I want to make sure that I get that out, that I acknowledge it, and that I'm not trying to ignore it because it does show up, right? So if you haven't addressed your self-sabotage, right, don't think that, oh, I just procrastinate sometimes. It's like, no, like you got to call that out. So don't be afraid to call out the things that are holding you back. Write that stuff down so that you can start acknowledging it when it comes up in real life. But working on your mindset and having a practice is very, very important. So I'm definitely not telling you anything that I haven't done myself. I definitely changed my mindset. Not necessarily in the area of health and fitness because I've been an athlete for a while, but just changing my life as far as like being an entrepreneur and thinking that I had something valuable to say, or just thinking I was good enough, or and I tell this to my kids all the time, like, you have something valuable to say. Your voice deserves to be heard. You can do this, right? And not everybody has ever heard that. Not everybody even tells themselves that. But if you know that you're struggling in the body that you're in, and you don't recognize yourself in the mirror, you can book a call. We can talk about how I can help you, because I would love to do that. So I'm going to get off of here because I can keep going on and on and on. But I said I'm going to be on here shortly, off of here shortly. So y'all have a great night. And I'll be back in here next week and do another live training. If anyone has any suggestions on what I should do, let me know. All right. Have a great night, y'all.